Good morning, Asbury, and welcome back to Newswatch 3. I'm Rachel Law.
And I'm Addie Smith, and we're here to give you your weekly updates. I know we're both definitely glad to be back on campus, and we hope you had a great spring break.
This week, we have a recap of this year's sophomore musical, Mary Poppins, a look at another Wilmore business, and your local and national sports updates. Asbury's Black Box Theater was transformed over the weekend to London, England, where the magical journey of the famous nanny, Mary Poppins, took place.
All for this year's sophomore musical, which is a staple here at Asbury. Our very own Rachel Law sat down with the cast and director to show us what the production was really like.
This year's show really highlighted what Asbury students are capable of. Let's take a closer look.
Asbury's entirely student-run sophomore musical came back in lots of color this year. Mary Poppins has concluded a weekend of 3 performances that told the story of a family coming back together through the hard times. Lead Lainey Hill shares how much she loved the experience.
I wanted to join SOMU specifically for the reason of coming together with my cast and with my graduating class and just doing something that we don't get the opportunity to do and just creating something so beautiful and honoring God in a specific way, such a specific way that is Mary Poppins.
Student director Hannah Young directed the musical in hopes of gaining experience for the future.
I've directed since I was actually 14 years old, and so I kind of came in, and once I figured out SOMU was a thing, was instantly jumped on that and was compiling my plan as to how I was going to direct that, because it is going to help me with my future career.
Characters brought to life by the cast created a colorful performance. The story was told with hopes to share a bigger message with the audience.
I think just the message that Mary Poppins shares of just it takes such a little thing to be kind to one another, and there's so many just other little important messages throughout the show, as fun and as bright and as colorful as it is.
Audience reactions were exactly what the cast had hoped for.
This is the best musical I've ever seen in my entire life. There were moments where I was crying, where I was standing up cheering, stomping my feet and laughing.
In the words of Mary Poppins herself,
remember, anything can happen if you let it.
In Wilmore, I'm Rachel Law with Newswatch 3.
This year, SOMU went all out for their take on Mary Poppins with tap dancing, big dance numbers, and of course, flying kites. If you didn't get the chance to see the performances this past weekend, you'll have to stick around for next year's show to see what the rising sophomores put on. Small towns are known for their hidden gems, especially locally owned small businesses. Wilmore is full of small businesses like Drinkling's Coffee Shop. Randy and April Hardman started a mug operation in 2016, selling mugs designed by Randy with funny theological and literary quotes on one side and a picture of the theologian or artist on the other. In 2018, Drinkling's Coffee Shop started on Main Street and has continued to grow. After 2 years in that location, the Hardmans were able to start renovating a house just down the street to be the new home of Drinkling's. The iconic yellow building now hosts the beloved coffee shop. The Hardmans' primary goal is to create a space where people can come, hang out, and enjoy each other's company, and create a constant place for the community to feel at home. President Joe Biden is using his executive privilege to ban U.S. government agencies from using spyware operationally. The executive order targets tools deemed a threat to national security or implicated in human rights abuses. It comes as a bipartisan group of U.S. lawmakers calls for an international coalition aimed at combating spyware. It can threaten American diplomats, and about a dozen State Department employees' phones were hacked in 2021. The human rights concern comes from the ability of governments to use hacking to suppress opposition voices. The executive order does not ban the FBI and other agencies from using spyware for testing purposes. You may have seen them at the mall, outside the grocery store, or in your neighborhood. It's Girl Scout cookie season. One enterprising scout in Alaska built her own cookie drive-thru, and customers are eating it up. Dave Allgood reports. I love Girl Scout cookies, and that is such a clever way to sell them.
Kayla is definitely a business-savvy Girl Scout. Apparently, though, the end of the March, she expects to sell 5,000 boxes of cookies.
That is much higher than the average. That's currently around 300 boxes per girl, according to last year's sales.
Cookie season is coming to an end in April, so those last few boxes may be going quickly.
Well, that's all we have for you today. Thank you for tuning in and allowing us to give you your weekly campus news.
Have a great week, and we'll see you next Tuesday, Asbury.